What's up, y'all? We are back. It is your boy Gerard, your girl Gabby, episode 82 of the Kicks and Shit Show. Yeah, see? Yep. I'm going to...
A moment of silence for the horns, Jay. A moment of silence for them horns.
I am going to... You're never going to know what I'm going to do week to week. I may not. Who knows what happens? All right, let's kick it off with our favorite segment. Where in the world is Gabby? Oh, wait, I know. Las Vegas.
Currently, yes, but spent a long weekend in LA, going back to Cali, quoting one of my favorite rappers. I can't resist. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? I'm actually not sorry, but
you're the opposite of sorry. Nothing. Yes, you were not sorry about any of that. This is what you were trying to do.
But I mean, you know me. I love the West Coast.
You do.
I've heard that there is some inclement weather in New York, New Jersey currently.
Well,
AKA cold as fuck.
I was going to say, if by inclement you mean cold, yes, the last 3 days have been frigid. As you know, I'm a runner. Those AM runs, Gabby, I mean, we are in the single digits, all right? Like, on those AM runs.
I give you people, and by you people, I mean early morning runners outside in the cold. I don't know how y'all do it.
I don't know how I do it either.
I'm like a Christmas Story bundled up, even just going to the subway. You know what I mean?
I can't put my arms down.
But it's like not even that. It's not even about being cold. It's like then you're cold, but you bundle up, so then you're hot and you're sweating, and you trap it, and it's cold. But then I can't breathe for 3 days afterwards. And maybe that's me having Jewish sinuses. I don't know, but that ain't my bag. I feel like 40 degrees is pretty much the coldest I go, and that is delightful running weather.
Well, today we had a break. It was the warmest day of the last few. I think it got up to 39 at one point today, which that's balmy, right? Oh. Given what we've had to deal with the last few days. But we're out here. What's funny, Gabby? Well, not funny, but interesting. So we talk about sneakers and wearing them, and you know how I feel about wearing sneakers in inclement weather. Here's something. So the sidewalks and the overabundance of salt that they put down yo, man, you want shit. Listen, I already ain't wearing my stuff in inclement weather. When it's dry and I see those salt things everywhere, hell no. Absolutely not.
That salt damage is real. I mean, you got to get that palm olive out, magic eraser, scrub that shit for days. Just because that salt, it's different. And it never really comes out, I feel like. Not in the same way.
You are not catching me doing that. And the thing about New York, Gabby, it's a walking city, right? You walk a lot. And man, I'm not, we not doing that. Give me the sorrel boots with the rubber bottoms. That's what we're doing.
The fur? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, a little fur. Yeah. But that's what we're doing. Anyway, what else is going on in your streets beyond the fact that you're in Las Vegas, your second home?
I'm very excited to move into a new place in a couple weeks, and I feel like it's a fresh start when it comes to my sneaker closet.
Mm-hmm. You have a whole separate area just for sneakers now.
I mean, yes, theoretically, that is all mine, even if it surrounds my kitchen and it's basically a fort to cook anything, But if that's my choice,
who needs to cook?
My apartment, my choice, right?
Exactly.
But I think, I'm already looking ahead to move in a couple weeks, and I'm like, do I need to put all these boxes of sneakers I've acquired while I've been a vagabond into other boxes? I'm like, how early can I get into this place so I can hand deliver those shits myself? But I do think that, moving has gotten me really thinking about what I'm really wearing and how much I'm rocking. And I think, I don't exactly have the best track record on the sneaker apps, not on any of them, not on the resale ones.
Not on the confirmed app, not on.
Okay, but I do think that I think as I continue to grow and build and shift my collection, it's a live object, the sneaker collection, right? It's a live organism. I'm looking at maybe not always the hypest of pairs. Sure, I'll play the raffles, I'll roll the dice, don't bet on me in Vegas on those ones, let me tell you. But I think as it kind of evolves, I'm what are the things that I really want to hone in on? And, and if I don't get as many pairs, it's there's so many pairs. It's an evil temptress, the sneaker game, but
sure is.
Really looking to kind of hone in on some things that have been on my list for a while.
I like that. I'm kind of with you on that. I think, this year it's really, I'm definitely going to add to the collection, but I'm going to do the same thing everybody else does, right? Which is you try on sneakers app because that's what you have to do, right? I mean, you may hit, You may not, right? Like it's just I'm a firm believer that the longer you have the sneakers app, right? You're gonna at least once everyone will get something. It may not be a sneaker, it may be a hoodie, it may be everyone will connect on something at least once in their life on the sneakers app. I believe at least once.
I feel like so. What you're saying is I front loaded all of my wins and I'm never winning again
I look at it as like you won once. Psh, gravy. Everything else after that is gravy.
What is this, like a Drake remix? You only win once? Like, nah.
I mean, look, it's hard out here, man. It's really hard, as you know, right? As we all know, and the thing is, I don't every week. I mean, there's a drop literally multiple times a week. I don't participate in every one. That's just not me, right? But for the ones that I like, I try. Sometimes you hit, as we learned last week. Yes, got lucky on the patent bread once. But got lucky, but you can count litany of other ones that, nope, lost, right? So, I mean, and the thing about it is that we know there's going to be a new pair or something that's going to come out literally every week, day. Right? So who cares? Honestly, or every day, right? So
if you look at the full calendar, I think every single day, like if you exclude, like, I mean, even on Sneakers app, there's a drop pretty much every day, let alone like Yeezys and some of the other brands, New Balance. Other Adidas shoes,
Puma, like you'll get something. Like if you really like sneakers, you will find a way to get whatever it is you want. It may not always be the hypest pair, but then you got to ask yourself, but why is this pair so hyped anyway? Do I like it because I want it, or do I like it because it's hyped? All right, like ask yourself those questions. It may be sometimes you may want it, but sometimes you might be like, I don't really want that shit. I just want it because everybody else wants it, right? Then you're like, all right.
Straight to feet kind of girl, except for the patent breads. They're still sitting there.
Oh yeah, those patent. Oh, I mean, well, we just talked about salt. They're not coming out till the weather breaks. Sorry, not till springtime. I
think it's okay for patent, at least for me, because I feel like I'm a little bit protected. It's a little bit different, and our girl Simply Be always talks about ones are for rainy days. So
interesting. I mean, they certainly will make a rainy day statement. That's for sure.
That's a big fact right there.
They will. All right, folks, stay tuned because. Coming up next, special guest, a return visitor to the Kicks and Shit Show. I think you guys will enjoy who this is. You're going to get yourself a sneaker education. So stay tuned. What's up, y'all? We are back. Gabby, we're not alone. We are joined by repeat guests. He is the co-founder of Another Lane, the premier digital marketplace for dope kicks. Of course, one of our great partners. He is the sneaker god. Chad Jones. What's up, man?
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me back on, man. Appreciate y'all.
Listen, Chad, every week we are on this show and we announce the Another Lane segment and I talk about you and Adina. Shout out to Chad's wife, Adina. I gotta let the people know this man has all the knowledge. I was like, you spend 30 minutes with him and you feel like you're getting the downloads to a PhD on sneakers. And 30 minutes, shit, you ain't even getting, that's like the intro 100 level course. And it ain't even like, that's like the first week of class. You're not even at the midterm yet with that, right? That's you really got to dive deep. So you are someone who's so knowledgeable and we had to have you back on. So we're happy to have you, man. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you as well. Appreciate you. Again, I'm happy to come on the show. Appreciate being invited.
Of course. Yeah. We're going to get into all the stuff you're doing, content-wise, etc. But give us an update on Another Lane right now. What's happening with the platform? What have you guys been seeing? What are the next steps?
Oh, man. So much going on the platform. So recently, I should say, I don't know how recently it is, but so we came out with a new color of hoodies, Champion branded this time, heather gray and fully embroidered. So I'm really proud of that little tiny thing that was around like Black Friday. Another thing that's happening is that people are starting to pay a little bit more attention to the marketplace and community, which is really great. Some more better interactions there, which is really great. What I wish is that guys wouldn't cancel their sales, man. Come on, like guys are selling their shoes. They're like, wait, I didn't think the shoe would sell. So and then, yeah.
You put your shoe up on the site. You gotta get ready to let it go. If you put it up there, somebody gonna comment.
Yeah, exactly. And they weren't ready to part with the shoe there, so I had to cancel out orders for customers, which was, I hate doing that. But at least we can be upfront about it. And then of course, all this content that we're developing and producing, it's just been a whirlwind, kind of a niche that, I mean, we create original content for the site. We have our own vertical, and I do these things out of love and fun, you know. But recently, you know, I started hosting a show for Soul Collector and Complex Networks on caffeine.tv called Sneaker Brackets, where we basically come up with a Sweet 16 every single week and over an hour, basically, you know, battle it out for a winner. And then we're producing basically like a reality show for Renee Montgomery, owner of the Atlanta Dream, which is pretty awesome to get to see things from a completely different perspective. And then, yeah, MSG. We are producing a sneaker related show for MSG, short form content. So yeah, there's a lot going on right now.
First of all, shout out to Renee Montgomery, obviously proud supporter of AnotherLane.com. She's definitely out there doing her thing. She's great. So Chad, you know, you talk about the Soul Collector show. Every week when you're going out to a 16, I mean, it's a lot of pressure, right? Like, all right, which 16 shoes we doing? And when we battle it out, what are the ways in which I'm going to talk about said shoe in order for it to potentially advance, right? Because, I mean, the easy thing is, all right, but you wear it with this fit, it's gonna be da-da-da. I was like, all right, but that can't be your go-to for everything, right? There's got to be more stories behind the shoe. So talk to us about the process of coming up with the brackets, and then when you go out to actually have the battle on the show.
Well, the first thing I want to say is sometimes we take this sneaker thing a little bit too serious. And for that very reason, I try to make brackets that are inviting for people who absolutely love sneakers to the hardcore, and also the people who are very just dipping a toe into the water. So I try to keep the topics kind of broad and inviting. You know, for instance, the first week of this year, we did a sneaker collector starter pack bracket, you know, and so this is for somebody who really knows sneakers, as well as somebody who doesn't know sneakers at all, because they're the ones who are learning which sneakers to buy. And the people who love sneakers are the ones who are voting on the sneakers to tell the people who are learning, you know, for, you know, which sneakers to buy. So it's almost like a give and take that goes on. And I really enjoy that aspect of it. I feel like it gives place for the really knowledgeable people to speak up, as well as the people who really don't know and are just opinion based, because, you know, times change, you know, and the way that we remember sneakers and the context may actually value a sneaker higher over somebody who just wasn't there for that experience. So, you know, educating them on that, and also having the ability to override and be kind of a, you know, like the master of it is pretty cool and fun at the same time. Like, I try not to be abusive with it, but you know, it's fun to have that power. You know, again, I did call myself Sneaker Galactus.
I mean, you are the sneaker god. So when somebody got some we don't know, you are the final judge, jury, and executioner on that, and we move it along.
Exactly. And sometimes I'm looked at as the villain, which is why I'm Galactus. You know, and you know, when you give out that decree, it's like, that's it. Ain't no turning back. So if you don't like it, too bad.
I love that. So on that particular episode, which shoes made the final four for the starter pack?
I don't even remember who made the final four, but I know that it was like a pair of, I think Superstars were up there.
Okay, that makes sense.
An Air Force One was, I believe, won the whole thing. I'm trying to think of what else was out there. I people got mad at me because I made a Jordan 1 and an Air Force One go off against each other in the early rounds. Yeah, listen. I know that we did it in the basketball style, but like, you got to add a handicap to some of those shoes, or people are not going to pay attention to some of the other styles. You know. You're right. So you it's interesting. You said Superstars. Would you
if someone were a novice and doing a starter pack and they said, Chad, I love it. You are the sneaker god, so I trust you. However, I'm going to sub out Superstars for Stan Smith. Would you be cool with that?
I would be cool with that. Like, so the Stan Smith made the list as well.
Hmm.
And this is really about like aesthetic taste, right? I feel like there are no losers in the entire bracket.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter whether you choose to go with who won during the show or not. Like, all of them are winners, whichever way you decide to go. Like, literally, you just put a foundational pair in your collection, period.
I love that.
I love that. I think those are classic, right? It's so funny watching the evolution too of the Air Force One over the years, and I know Nike just dropped some price increases around that as well. But yeah, I mean, what is it about those Uptowns? You know?
You know what's funny to me is that I'm of the opinion that it's more about the attitude in a pair of Uptowns than it is about any pair of Uptowns ever. And because of that, I believe now it has basically lasted the test of time, because it's a basic shoe. There's lots of basic shoes out there, right? But at the same time, like, what kind of lineage? Like, there's not that many speakers. They're coming out more and more, but there are not that many sneakers where it's just one silhouette that just says something about you, period. You know, and an Air Force One is one of those kinds of shoes. So, and that's undisputable, you know.
You know, get a pair of Uptowns. You get those Harlem Cats when they decide to do their thing and put on a pair. It's like, oh boy, I see you.
Oh, they be talking crazy, you know. but I'm not mad at them. You know, like, Harlem is a style mecca, you know, and part of that style comes with the talk. You know, the talk goes with it.
It does.
You know, and the one thing about being from Uptown is, if the talk don't match the style and you can't back it up either, then
yeah, man,
you know, they gotta go together. You know, it's just one of those things. You know.
Yeah, man, I'm with you. So you know, it's interesting. You're talking about all these different sneakers. You're talking about how you started off and how, you know, with Another Lane, you had to cancel some orders because people weren't ready to come up off their shoes. There's so much going on, and you talked, of course, about, Gabby mentioned the price increase for Uptowns. And before the show, I said the capitalist machine stops for no one. Like, it just does not. It doesn't care who is who or what. Its sole goal is to make as much money as possible in whatever way possible. Literally, to lay waste to whatever's in front of it. That is capitalism's goal, right?
Oh, you're so right.
If anybody saw the movie Don't Look Up, you know, it's a critique on modern media and all that, but it also is a critique on capitalism, right? And in the way in which nothing stops it, including the end of the world does not stop capitalism, right? Because it will continue in some form or fashion. So with that being said, that is such a driving force behind the sneaker industry right now, of course. What are some things that you're seeing right now in the industry that you really kind of got your goat and that you'd want to change if you could?
Well, I mean, there's two things, if I can really. One, the way that the direct to consumer approach has X'd out like the main genre of people who started this is something that I wanted to change. That's really what started me getting into Another Lane. And then the second aspect of it, probably for me, is, I guess, the love and the community aspect of it. That's the other part. That's you know, because people are able to hide behind their computers, you don't get to know who these people are. You can't usually tell if they're actually into the sneakers. And then if you're going to have a business, that's fine. But there's a lot of other things that you need to do when it comes to having a business. And so some of these people are not having a business, not doing the things that they have to do to have a business, and also having the ability to hide behind, you know, and act like they're something that they're not. And I just think that with a little bit more transparency, we can have a better way to do things, you know?
I'm with you. You mentioned community, and of course, it's something we talk about all the time on this show. I was thinking about it like this, and it's true because things happen online now, and there isn't as much of the camping out and waiting online, right? That really is of a bygone era. There is a way, though, how, at least I think, but I'm not sure who all the people are. There is a sense of community every Saturday morning at around 10:05, right?
East Coast time.
Right, East Coast time. Thank you, Gabby. East Coast time, 7 a.m. Pacific, 7:05 Pacific. When that inevitable L comes from the sneakers app, that everybody jumps online and shares their sad story about how they didn't get whatever pair it was. Now, I don't know if it's just people who want to just cop because it's the latest thing. We can't tell, right? Because it's just too many. But is there a way that we could use that to start forming a community?
Well, yeah. I mean, 100%. The truth is, right, complaints in numbers make change. Like, they just do. And so that's why a community has a true power, or what they call networking effects have true powers, and why platforms like Amazon or eBay or anything like that have some real power, because it's not the individual transaction or the individual seller per se, but it's the thousands and hundreds of thousands of transactions and sellers on any platform that gives the platform the power to do right by their community. And so that's really the reason why I started Another Lane. I felt like as we got more members, we would have a larger voice in the industry and the community to be almost like a watchdog of sorts, just to make sure that some of these brands were playing fair, because if they're not, we can just shift, because the truth is, like, every brand makes dope pairs. Like, every good brand, I not every brand, but every good brand definitely makes dope pairs, right? And so it's a matter of deciding which brand is going to get our money because they treat us the right way. And it's really, it's not so easily done because it's so many people, but when you can create those type of large themes that have like a media or any type of entity paying attention to them, then yeah, they can create some big change, like fast too, not slow change, fast change.
No, totally. And I think, it's interesting, and Gerard and I've talked about this a couple of times about the brand experience, right? I know you mentioned good brands, and I definitely think, like, even just looking behind you at all the different brands of boxes, I feel like Nike's got a little bit of a unique positioning, because I think it was on Clubhouse where the founder of K-Swiss was talking about if K-Swiss ever tried to pull that sneakers app shenanigans, people would never buy K-Swiss again. But I do think that the community really rallies around that. And I'd love for you to talk more about just kind of the growth in the community with Another Lane, and kind of how that's kind of making a change in the culture. I mean, you guys are really paving the way of direct to consumer products and fair price point, but like a lot of dope shit as well. So I'd love for you to talk more about that.
No price gouging. We love it.
Yeah, well, so we're a third party, so we can't really dictate what the prices are going to be that people are selling on our site. And so we'll help if we can. But we try our best to, because some people are going to resell just to resell. There are some pairs that they're just going to do that for. And then there are some pairs that they're just trying to get rid of because they got too many, and they're trying to help people out. And so, that's the reality of sneaker collecting. It's usually, if you're into sneakers, it's usually a little bit of everything, as opposed to just reselling or I mean, rich people just buy, but I'm not rich, so I don't really I don't understand that experience. But For me, really, it's a place for those kind of things to happen and relationships to be created over it. Because, when you're just trying to figure out on the app, some people are like, oh, put it to women's. It'll make it easier for you to get it because it's going to be a women's. And then you click it to women's, and then you like, oh, yeah, I'm a size 11.5. But wait a minute, 11.5 is really like a size 10 in women's, or a 9.5. So then you get the women's size sneaker, and you're like, what am I gonna do with this? Because I did that. I'm telling you right now. I've made that mistake and ended up with a pair of shoes in a size 9.5, and it's like, what I got two choices now. It's like I can go in my community and I can try to give this for retail to somebody who wears this size, okay? Or I can try to resell it on a third-party site, try to make a couple of dollars, but the reality is like unless the shoe is like really, really appreciating, right? I'm not getting the dollars. The buyer's not getting a deal. It's a third party company who's basically taking a large percentage of that to begin with. So it's like, what are we doing here? We got all these large billion-dollar valuations of these companies, and like the majority of us, we all live in like, and this is not even to disrespect anybody else who lives in a rural area, but like this thing started in urban centers, you know, and these limited edition shoes, the odds are that they're coming out in an urban center. And then on top of that, the likes of then came from urban centers out to, you know, more suburban or rural type areas. Like if that is the case, like we should be trying to connect, like, you know, for some tri-state area, for me, like that's a large amount of people that I can connect with, and in a very small amount of area. And so I believe that, you know, if we're congregating with each other around these events, then we should get to know each other, because get better deals, get better this. Plus the IRS isn't playing. So it's like you want to sell it on a third party site like $600, and they already want you to pay capital gains taxes. I mean, It's been like that. It's been like that forever. However, you know, these third-party sites say that they didn't report, you know, 200 transactions or $20,000. Both had to happen before they would report it. But the reality is, like, you're required to do that and pay your taxes, you know, on the first $50, you know, but they're not policing you. But now that they're going to be a little bit more strict about it, you know, like, what are you doing? Like that money now, you got to claim it, you got to this, or you know, put yourself up for like stuff that just you don't have to. So make some friends. You know, you can have some peer-to-peer relationships, peer-to-peer cash transfers. It's very different. You know, it's looked at different by the government too.
And that's how you come up with those nice pairs too. And you don't get on there and you don't get those sneakers that are appreciating in value. You're not really paying that 10x fee, which is like.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it like this, right? If I have a pair that I could sell for $500 that I paid $100 for, right? I could sell them for the $500 if I really need it, or I got my boy over here who I could give it to, you know, for $150 or $200, right? I made some money off it. I probably won't have to report that on a peer-to-peer type transaction. But if I get that $500, I'm definitely going to have to report it. I might not get a second sale from the person who I sold it from, you know, and then there's all these other type of complications out of there. So I just, for me, it's really about just creating a better relationship, because those are the reasons why I've been able to I get pairs from all over the country. I get pairs from outside of the country, and they're usually people who I've done multiple transactions with. I feel comfortable with them. They feel comfortable with me. And that's kind of how you build out a network.
Yeah, man. No, and you're talking about the relationship, right? The people part of it. That at the end of the day, this is about people, right? Like that's what's going to sustain it and help you get what you need.
It's always about, so for me, right? So there's all these sneakers, right? We talk about these stories, we talk about the content, right? And how we love these shoes, right? So if it's always been the player or the athlete, right? Now we're going into like, you know, celebrities or the shops or whatever, right? Well, those shops, they come from certain places. You start to learn about the people who own these places, operate these places, star at these places, right? It's all about their lives, you know? So you're basically trying to get to know them and see what inspired their lives and those things that you relate to. Like, it's the same thing here. It's no different.
Yeah, for sure. You know, Gabby does something where she always talks about looking at the stock market, but she really means the shoe market, right? So just go on just to see, all right, what's this class of shoes going for today? Oh, okay, we're up in the 200s. I'll wait. Let me see what it looks like a week from now, whatever. How do you feel? Do you, Chad, monitor what the external market price is dictating for sneakers? And when you see that, how does that impact either how you, one, negotiate, go try to find the shoe, etc.? How do you use what the everyday price that everybody's paying to dictate or inform you when you make decisions?
Well, first I tell you, I'm always trying to get everything at retail. That's number one. The second thing I'm going to tell you is that if I don't get it at retail, right, I'm not looking to pay a lot over retail, period, if I do want to get that pair. And I tell you the reason I don't do it is because I know over the past 30 years that, you know, if I don't get this one, there's going to be another fresh one right around the corner. Okay. It has not failed. Okay. Like the same way that I wake up in the morning, every morning, it is very possible that next week or the week after next, something dope is going to come out that I want to buy, I want to own. Now, the level, you know, the level of how much I want them may change, but the odds are that something new is going to, whether it's a new color, new material, whatever the hell it is, it's something that I'm going to like, because that's just that's what we've basically turned ourselves into, looking for that next thing, you know? So there's that. Yeah. And if I can't, like, as far as like the crazy resale, I don't even think about them. I don't even think about them.
No,
I don't
even if I had that money, nah.
Yeah.
Like
it's different. Like if I'm like, I hate to say like a rapper dude or one of these basketball
I got
players,
you.
but like when your salary level is different, like, you know, like NBA guys, they get 2-week paychecks just like ours. However, those 2-week paychecks are way bigger than
got more zeros on the end.
Yeah, you know, so, you know, a shoe that may be expensive for me may be light work for somebody in the league, you know, and so therefore that has to do with your budget. Of course, I think that everybody should be paying attention to their finances and should not be, you know, spending outside of their means. However, you know, there are those times you might want to spend that little extra money, or, yo, if you can't find something that's crazy this month, yo, don't buy nothing. Save all that money so you have a little extra that maybe you can pick up something with a little bit more. Like I have this weird range because I buy samples, and samples don't really have a retail price. Right. So, you know, I try to be the fast person, because after I see the shoe on the internet, the odds are that the masses are going to raise whatever price I got offered the shoe. Like it's not often that a shoe that I'm offered, you know, a sample price at, and then it finally hits the internet, that it stays at that price. It raises drastically, you know, once that happens. So
no, that makes sense.
I gotta ask though, just because at the beginning of the pandemic, when we first talked, and I think there's something to this, right? And I think this is true with a lot of people, which is why Nike is churning out and Adidas are churning out the launches, that when you're consuming remotely from home, like, how many pairs do you need to consume to get that same kind of fix, right? And I don't know. I want to know, one, is that still true? And, you know, I think I'm kind of the same way when I look at sneakers, right? Like, there's always going to be the next greatest, but there's always that one that kind of got away that you try to figure out, like, if I go back a couple months later, am I open to paying a little bit more? So during all of this, is there a pair like that that's kind of hit you a little bit differently?
Oh man. I mean, a pair. Like I haven't been. Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. There's a bunch of pairs. Like I did not get every single pair of Sakai waffles that I wanted, you know, because sneakers app.
Because sneakers app.
Yeah, like it's just is what it is. The black and red patent ones that just came out, I didn't get a pair of those. I absolutely wanted a pair of those. You know, the 350 compact that just came out, the Yeezy 350 compact pair. Like I wanted those. I didn't get them. They're like that's like a almost $300 shoe now. I'm just like, next color. You know, you know. So for me, I'm just. But again, I've gotten some really nice things. I got one of the padded pairs at least out of the 4.
Nice.
You know, but it's like, realistically though, I won all 4. You know, so you know, it's just one of those things. And if somebody had told me, hey, for retail, if you wanted all 4 pairs, you know, yeah, I got you. No, for me, right, in the place where I'm in life, yeah, put all those in the bag or the box and ship them out. Like I don't, it's a like a snap thing for me with certain pairs, you know. But I'm just, unfortunately, I don't have the opportunity to buy
Yeah.
anywhere near close the way that I used to buy before bots came in and everything went to this direct to consumer and like raffle type approach. Cause like I'm 43 years old. Like I don't have the time to go. I can't even remember my sign-in name to go to all these sites to fill in the raffles and find a 5-minute or 2-minute like skip the line. There's like it's like the foolishness. I wish I was a child and had the time to do these things. like talking about some of the things that I actually have to do, like I just can't. And so because of that, what I get to do, I'm lucky in the way that I'm producing content where I have the opportunity to credit somebody else and be like, yo, those are really dope. They look good on your feet. They look better than I even thought they would have. Because like in some cases, like that's the first time I might be seeing the shoe. Yeah. Because it wasn't like back in the day where I had my pick. I could go and be like, yeah, I want them, or be like, I'll think about it. Like I really used to be like,
yeah, let me think about that.
Cool Gray 11s. I was like, okay. Like I ended up buying them like the last time they retroed, right? But I couldn't get them this time around.
Yeah.
And so I sold them. Like the Cool Gray 11s were part of, you know, the money that I raised to be able to fund another lane before we got invested in. And so like I no longer have that shoe. The opportunity came to try to buy. I did. I filled out some raffles. I tried to.
And it was like, nah, son.
Nah, you good on those. You sold those. It was like, they were like, yo, we saw you sold those. You don't get another one.
You sold those. No, you know? It's amazing how everything's changed, right? It's just that the people who jump into the pool to want to purchase now has grown exponentially in the past 30 years. But the supply that goes out has either stayed the same or probably got smaller, right? So it's just like, hey, man, it literally is luck, right? Or to Gabby's point, you're going to go crazy and you're going to pay the retail. Or to Chad's point, man, just wait, because next week another pair is going to come out that you're going to like, get those instead. Or as we say, if you're really into sneakers, it's not always about the hot release that drops, right? You can now, because with COVID, you don't want to go into stores. You can pull up your Nike app or whatever app or Foot Locker and, oh shit, or Eastbay. Look at this. That's a nice pair. Let me cop those, right? That are just there because they don't have all the hype behind them. That exists.
Yeah. I'm finding a lot of like non-hype, but like definitely like signature level type of sneakers that are sitting for retail or 10 to 20% off of retail. And I think that it's a great time. Like, you know, I want to take like the mid 90s and give you a specific time period, because like the mid to late 90s was a perfect time period where there were a lot of these like signature level type sneakers that went under the radar because people were just looking at a Jordan or you know a pair of Iversons or something like that. And like I like even ACGs, like a lot of the like the dopest ACGs like Terrace Fatigues and Minnows and stuff like that were definitely $140, $120 sneakers that kind of went under the radar. So it was like, if you knew, you knew, and that's what you copped. And like, it was easy. I mean, it's easy. It's still, for me, it's still kind of, I want to say easy because you can just see if somebody's about it. Like, you know, I mean, you see that kids are trying, like you can see the kids and you want to give the kids props, but like adults, you know who does this.
You know who's real out here, folks. Yeah. This is the sneaker god, Chad Jones. Stay tuned because coming up next, see, this is America's favorite segment, Shoe and Tell, presented by Another Lane, and we have Another Lane here right now. So I'm not even going to give you the whole spiel that I normally do because they're right here. What you need me to tell you? We here. He's right here. But stay tuned because Chad's going to show us some cool pairs coming up next. What's up, y'all? We are back. America's favorite segment, Shoe and Tell, presented by Another Lane, the premier digital marketplace in dope kicks. Look, normally I give you the whole spiel about Chad and Adina. I ain't telling y'all shit. Chad's right here What you want me to tell you about another lane that he hasn't already said? I got nothing. Chad, tell him why they got to get on anotherlane.com.
No seller fees. Like it's really simple. Like that's the biggest thing. Like I did this. Number one, this is a community that I'm a part of. So therefore I felt like there are other ways for me to monetize my site. And this is something that we all do. And if we're here trying to help each other build a collection, like, you know, like this is my way to help that along.
See, look at that,
whether
folks.
You're buying or selling.
Come on, again, we're done. I already told you, Chad. This is your show now, my friend. You show us what you got. Tell them what they are, why they're important, why you like them.
Listen, I guess I can be what is considered to be a hype beast at times. Like again, you know, that's the one thing. Like I'm never offended about any of these names, right? Because at any given time, I'm one of them, right? So like, don't like, I'm not wearing any fakes. That's what I'm not doing. But you know, like a hype beast or reseller or just collector or purist, like I'm all of those things. So this pair right here, like the Sacai, like I don't know the waffle joint, the way that they made this midsole and the way that the double lace and double tongue, like just how it wears.
Yes,
it wears well. Like the reason why I go for this shoe is because you can wear this shoe. You know, wearability is a big factor. There's a lot of really dope shoes that look great in pictures, but you take a couple of steps in them and they're through, whether it be creasing, the paint starts cracking or whatever. But the Sacai's, and especially this pair with like this nylon type of
material. That's a fresh pair of people. Them Sacai's, they were, if we did the sneaker list, right, of top 10s from last year, right, I know those were in there, right? So like, I mean, people love them.
It's a comfortable shoe though too. Yeah. I like that. I think
wearability
is the wearability that no one really talks about from a hype shoe.
Yeah. I think that's that's my most important factor when I think about value.
I like it.
Right, because we're talking about sneakers here, right? So
gotta wear them.
This is like supposedly performance apparel, right? So like it's got to look really great, you know, and then it's got to do its job just as good. Like if it doesn't do its job as good, like how could it possibly be valued as that? So another pair of this is my first pair of 2022. We've got the Watch the Throne 9. Yeah, you know,
the detailing on that is insane.
Yeah, man.
You know what's crazy? It's a LeBron 9, so I'm glad that they retroed it, but like there's like no detail on the like this thing here, right? It had all kinds of detail originally on the sample. It had the WTT, it had all this other stuff, all this engraving. This one, it don't have that, but I don't care. I'm not gonna be mad because this shoe at one time was like $3,000. This sample like 10 years ago, there was like a scandal with samples at Nike with a guy named Kyle Yamaguchi back in the day. If anybody wants to read about that, you know.
Yep.
And that was one of the shoes that was, you know, around, you know, that whole scandal.
Yep.
So, and then what's another pair? Oh. I got these Aqua 700s.
Now, see, you're speaking to Gabby directly right now.
Literally speaking to me on all those levels. Like that's a wearable shoe in every.
Exactly. It's a wearable. So I have like 8 pairs of 700s, like the V1s of.
Wait, I love how you can't leave. I got like 8 pairs of 700s. You know.
It's been out for the day, not worthy. I don't have that same kind of luck on that confirmed app either, my friend. I love that.
I like the 700. I put on Instagram not that long ago. I have 18 different colorways of the 350. The 350 V2.
See, and you know what? We gotta talk. I gotta get me.
That's why you're the god.
That is why you're the god. I gotta get me another pair of V2s. I gotta get the zebras. I don't have a zebra. I need a pair of the zebras.
So I went through 2 pairs of zebras, and the zebras are not even one of the 18. So
wow.
I really like the Yeezy 350. Like, you know, if you're not one of these like Drake fans that just follows Drake around, like, you know, it's just it's a shoe that like it's a great travel shoe. I'm gonna tell you that. Like, to me, I think right now that's the GOAT travel shoe. I really think it's the greatest of all time. At first I thought maybe the NMD would be a close comparison, but then when it came to cleaning it one day, warm water made color dye start to bleed on the Boost. That changed my opinion of why NMD is not up there compared to the Yeezy, because the color dye doesn't happen like that when you're cleaning on a pair of Yeezys. And like, I have very specific reasons why I hold certain shoes in high regard, and it's mainly the wearability and you being able to clean them so they don't look beat up forever.
Folks, if you remember, check back episode 10 when we had Chanadino on, and he gave you some tips on how you clean your shoes. Look, you can definitely do your whole Crep Protect and all that. Shout out to and Jason Mark and all those great people. Listen, man, Chad out here like, listen, man, get yourself some Palmolive. All right, and here's how you go ahead and get them joints clean.
Yo, you can do the job for a lot less, because like, this sneaker thing been around before any of those brands existed.
I love it. What else? You got anything else, or is that it? That's it. You don't want shows anymore.
I got another pair of 700s here. I just couldn't see which pair it was. What do we have here?
Yeah, but you gotta go over to Chad and Adidas and just go shopping in the.
I know. I mean, you know, when I'm back on the.
I couldn't help it. I pulled out a pair of Inertias, but that wasn't really the pair that I was looking for.
He's like, forget these. These ain't the ones.
Wrong. I feel like 350s get all the credit, but there's something
700s.
For me that I just.
It's nice.
It's just the details are like cool enough and out there enough, weird enough, but it always works. Like the color combos. It's just.
I think the color combos are great. I love the fact, first, they're still using suede.
Yep.
And if you ask me, like, there's no way that color looks like, I think that color on suede looks better than on any other material.
I think,
and it also lasts longer as when you're looking for vibrant type colors.
I like that.
Where like plastic and rubber is really, really hard to keep over time. And so, that's like, there's like these different material type shoes. And like, I don't know, the V1 in particular, the silhouette itself is just one of those silhouettes that anything, jeans, sweats, if you're wearing a dress or a skirt,
a
shorts,
suit, anything.
You could take that to prom and it works.
Pretty much, like if you got the right colorway to go and the right pair of crop pants, like it could work.
See, this is folks. Look at all the education you're getting here. And again, I told you, the sneaker god is PhD level. This is like in elementary school shit he's giving you right here. Like, come on, man, get your ass.
We out here having fun, man. We out here having fun. Like, that's what this is supposed to be. That's what this is supposed to be. Like, fun that you want to take how you get dressed seriously, but like, it's supposed to be fun.
It is supposed to be fun. Chad, a pleasure as always. Tell the people where they can find you.
Well, you can find me on Twitter at @S_Galactus. You can find me at Instagram, sneaker_Galactus. And of course, my site, www.anotherlane.com, in the community. Or you can check me out on Thursdays at 6 on caffeine.tv for complex sneaker brackets. This week, we're going to do best black and red colorways.
Bread color. Listen, that one's definitely going to cause fights. I know it. Fights are happening with that one.
I'm looking to have a little bit of fun with it because I hate the word bread. I hate it. I hate how it came. But since it became a thing, even though I was against it, it's a thing.
Even though I was against it. Chad tried to stop it himself, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, I didn't have that kind of power.
Is it just because it's a lazy thing for you? Just say black and red. Why we gotta abbreviate it?
To me, it's a lazy thing because, number one, like, who determines which one is the bread? Like, because like that's a playoff colorway also. So like, do we remove the playoff and make like you know what I mean? And so like the words that we use, they should have meaning.
See,
language
and that's
is
powerful, people.
That whole breads, like I eat bread, I make bread.
Bread, I go to bread every night.
Yeah.
See that? All right. That folks, that was a step up in education level, right? You see, we were at the elementary level before. We might have skipped a few grades just now. We need to give you a little bit of that bread conversation. So
he understood the assignment, Jay. That's why.
Always. Chad always understands the assignment. Folks, thank you for rocking with us yet again. You know where to find us. We are at Kicks and Shit Show on all social media platforms. Of course, we are part of the Count the Dings network. You can find us on the Bomb podcast feed with the original Bomb Show, with Woke Bros, with Crazy Sexy Cool, Growing Up the Same, all those amazing shows. And of course, us. And until next time, peace.
Peace, y'all.